Okay, I'm just going to take you through the first step of making an annotation in Elan. You'll need to open a file to start with. So you've got a couple of files on the memory stick I've given you, you can open those. I'm just going to open a recent file here, which is one of the examples. Okay, so this is Elan, this is generally what it looks like. Two videos, which should already be linked up along with the audio waveform down here, and then your tiers here. So there's quite a few of them, starting with the dialogue tiers where you can see the transcripts already in there, and then other tiers which will be empty for you to annotate. Yay! So the first step is just putting in an annotation and getting the timings right, so getting where it starts right and where it ends right. So we'll annotate the gestures in this example. So the first thing you'll need to do is go into the correct mode for setting timings, which is options, and then go down to segmentation mode. You can see it's slightly changed over here and it's slightly changed over here. These are your tiers down the bottom here. So the top tier, which is one of the dialogue tiers at the top with the pink bit, is the active tier, which is why it's bigger than the rest. And you can see that all of the other tiers come underneath it, including itself, and it's got a red line next to it there, which means I am the active tier, but the editing bit is the top bit with the red. And you can see as I hover over all of the annotations already there, they turn green. Okay, so we need to select the correct tier that you want to annotate, and you can do that by double clicking on them, and you can see that it changed the red line there. And then the tier in the pink bit has changed as well, so you can see that all the annotations that were there before have disappeared because there isn't actually any dialogue at this point because she's talking and he's not. And what we'll do is we'll go to the card holder gesture and we're going to annotate for the card holder gestures, and she happens to be the card holder in this example. To the right we've got another menu. What we'll be using is 2 keystrokes per annotation, and that just means that you have a keystroke to put in the beginning of a annotation, and then another keystroke, a second one, to put in the end. And the keystroke you can see here is the return key, so the end key. So you've got the timeline here, and you can just put the red thread, which is where you are in the timeline, synced up to the video there. And then, so if you want to start an annotation here, press the enter key. La 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 la, you can see a line has appeared. And so this is the end of the annotation here. Press enter again. Okay, so now we've got our fully formed annotation. Generally, we don't get the timings right in the beginning, but we can edit that now. You just have your cursor over the top of the annotation, and then you've got this little thing, icon when you go to the end, and you can click and drag. You sort of like watch the video in slow motion just to make sure you get the right timing. And you can do that with the end as well. Or if you've got the annotation in completely the wrong place, you can click it in the middle and then just drag it wherever you need it. Or if you've made it by complete mistake, you can just make sure that your cursor is hovered over it and it goes green, and then just press delete or backspace and it's gone. You can also do this while the video is playing. So I press play there, and then I can press enter. Oh, there's the start, and then I'll press enter again, and there's the end. So there we go. There's an annotation. I mean, as that was just an example, we're just going to delete it because it's not really annotating anything in particular we want. Okay. So now I'll just annotate for a couple of gestures just so you can see how it goes. So I'll press play. Okay, so I missed a couple there, but let's just say I'll start here. And she's saying it's really tiny. Oh, okay. Wow, that happened very quickly. So there was 2 gestures there. So you can see she starts saying it's tiny there, and so there's the onset. We always start the gesture from the onset, so she sort of prepares her hand there. So she sort of moves her hand from one position to the next around about there. And then she's doing the tiny, she's saying it's this big, this big, this big, and then still, okay, I'm just dragging the end of it to be, and she's changing around about there. Great. So as I said, there was 2 gestures in quick succession there. So we've got the first one, it's really tiny, and now she's pointing at her face. And I just played it and I pressed enter and then enter again, but I was way too slow, so I'm going to have to change the time at the beginning, which it sort of is basically stacked up against the first one. Yep, around about there. And then she points here, she holds the point, and then that's the opposite. So she moves her hands into a different position around about there, and that will be the end of the gesture.